Welcome to another great version of Younger Life. Hi, I'm Rick Federici.
And I'm Mary Anthony.
And of course, today we've got another phenomenal show lined up. This is kind of cool because we're all about being fun, awesome.
Right, and positive.
This is great positive energy.
I feel like the positive attitude really is so important. And, I find myself, in those moments or days where you just think, you get aggravated, but, that just breeds more negative energy. So I always try to stay positive, and it's kind of a joke. Sometimes, Jeremy, makes fun of me a little bit for it, but it's definitely important. That's why I was thrilled that we're going to have this author on.
I know, and we're always about being happy because happy makes the world go around. And I think here on Younger Life, everybody knows. Well, let's go to the phone lines here on Younger Life Live. Hi, welcome to the show. And who's this? Hello?
This is Neil Pasricha. How are you?
Neil!
Hi, how are you?
We so love being
I was listening
happy.
to you. I'm like, they're talking to me.
Yes, Neil.
Yep.
No, I thought it was going to be one of these, Neil. You were like, hold on, I've got my people. We'll connect. We'll connect, Mr. Neil, to you.
Oh, no.
Rick, Mary, great to talk to you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, we were so excited you were going to join us. I know the Book of Awesome has been so successful and so, so much fun. So I'm curious to know how you got to the happiness equation and how this is different than the Book of Awesome.
Sure. Well, the Book of Awesome came, about 5 years ago from a pretty dark place. I was going through a divorce, and I had a very close friend who was suffering from severe mental illness and very sadly didn't make it. So I wrote down these awesome things to cheer myself up. It was the observation of awesome. A few years later, 5 years later, my wife tells me on the airplane home from our honeymoon, so as you can tell, I got remarried, and on the airplane home from our honeymoon, she says, I'm not feeling well. So on the layover, she goes to the pharmacy, she gets back on the plane, goes to the little airplane bathroom, comes to her seats, and she says, I'm pregnant.
Aww.
Right on the plane. And then I land home in Toronto, and I start writing a letter to my unborn child, how do you live a happy life? In case I got hit by a bus or something happened to me in the next 10, 20 years, I want to leave a piece of wisdom, a piece of advice for my child. And everyone wants their kid to live a happy life. So that 300-page letter to my son before he was born is the happiness equation, where the Book of Awesome was the observation of awesome. I like to think this new book is the application of awesome.
All right, so
fantastic.
I got to ask you, is because folks that are writing, folks that are authors, like yourself, was this a constant stream of knowledge and ideas and things that you put out there, or was it something that you wrote maybe a few hours and then you went back to it? Because that is what I want to hear. Is this something that you just kind of started writing, Neil, and just kind of went with it?
Well, yeah, we all believe, Rick, that motivation leads to action. That's how we grow up. But turns out, when I was writing this book, I discovered that action actually leads to motivation. So the first morning, I set my alarm clock for 5 a.m. I thought I'll write 1,000 words before I go to work at Walmart. I thought, let me give this a shot, and I struggled, but I got a couple sentences written. And so the next day at 5 a.m., I thought, well, I did something yesterday. Now I know I can do a little bit more today. And so I did a little bit more every day, and suddenly that 5 a.m. regimen turned into a habit, and I was writing 1,000 words before work every morning for my wife's entire pregnancy.
Oh,
holy
that's
cow.
so neat, though. I mean, really, I know I don't want to, keep going back to the Book of Awesome, but what I love about the idea how that began is, like you said, being in a dark place, losing your friend and going through a divorce. I feel like it's so easy to get wrapped up in that sadness and that heaviness. I think it's so important to try to find something, even if it's not in your own life. And like you were doing, this started as a blog, right?
Yes, exactly. 1000awesomethings.com. And what you're reminding me of is that we all think happiness is out there. We think that you do hard work, then you have a big success, then you're happy. But it turns out it's inside us. Like there's an underlying theme in the happiness equation it is in you. So I was writing that blog, to your point, Marcy, about popping bubble wrap and putting warm underwear on from out of the dryer.
Right. Those silly things.
Dinner buffet first at a wedding, because it's very difficult for our brains to experience grief or negativity while we are feeling grateful. There's a lot of studies on that. So if you put your mind in a grateful mood, it's almost impossible for your mind to, at the same time, feel negative emotions. You
I
almost
love
shield
that.
yourself that way.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think, and I'm sure you get asked this question a ton of times, but basically, why is it so hard to be happy?
Right.
That kind of just thrown it out there to you, like why? And because so many of us, and we chat about this on Younger Life all the time. Everybody goes through craziness in their life, sickness, death, stuff happens at work, at home, personal life, but you got to try to spin it. So why is it so hard to be happy, Neil? What would you say?
Well, there is a real clear scientific reason that I just learned while writing the happiness equation, and it blew my mind. And it goes like this. Our species, Homo sapiens, have been around for 300,000 years, and for 299,900 of them, we were looking for problems. You have to look for a saber-toothed tiger that's going to eat you. You need to find, a mate because there's no one around you on the African plains. The point
So
is,
true.
our minds have been training for hundreds of thousands of years to look for problems, find problems, and solve problems. That's why the way we design the world today is, you get your doctor's lab test back, you look for the high cholesterol. You get your math test back, you look for the problem you got wrong. That's the way our minds work. That's how they're trained to work. And only now, today, in the last, say, 50 years, when we have so much going for us, we have, in large part, our health, we have safety, we have, you can go to the grocery store, like everything's available. And we haven't yet trained our minds, these complex biological things, to see the positive things first. That's why it's an exercise and it's a practice, and that's why in the happiness equation I give a number of exercises you can do to actually train your brain to see the positive thing first.
Well,
I like
I
that.
love this. And this is something that I brought up. And the book is shown right now, thanks to Sanders, our executive producer. Want nothing, do anything, and have everything. My gosh, I hope you put a trademark on that. Because that's a cool shirt.
No trademark on it yet, because you know what? The way intellectual property works these days is like anyone can have everything. I really do believe it. I send copies of my book to people. There's excerpts all over the internet.
Right.
I want people to read it. And I honestly believe that a very, very small percentage of the population actually has the means and the time to buy books, right? They're a luxury good. They're $20 or $30. But for those that do, they can tell other people. They can bring it to their classroom. They can bring it to their church. And that's where I hope the happiness equation hits. I wrote this book for my son, right? I just thought I want to leave him with 9 steps to actually be happy in case I don't have a chance to tell him. And these steps, being happy first, doing it for you, remembering the lottery, never retiring, creating space, they're meant for anyone to apply to their own life.
You know what I want to throw out there, because some of the things it says, how much of our happiness, I guess this is a great question, how much of our happiness is actually produced by what happens to us, and how much is produced by how we react to what happens to us? Kind of a spin on a question, but I'd love to ask you, the expert at this.
That's a great question. Sonia Lyubomirsky at University of California has a theory about this, and she's written a book called The How of Happiness, which is a fantastic read. And essentially it works like this. Our brains have 50% of our happiness based on our genetic set point. And you know this from, the 5 friends you hang out with. Some of them are just naturally a bit happier or unhappier. That's fine. But here's the interesting thing. Only 10% of the remaining is due to our circumstances. We think it's a lot more than that. We think, if so-and-so gets elected, then I'm going to be screwed, But it's not like that. 40% is our intentional activities. That means if you gave me 20 minutes of your day, and you gave me that 20 minutes, and I said, go on a brisk 20-minute walk, or journal for 20 minutes about a positive experience, or write down 5 things you're grateful for, or commit a random act of kindness, you would just be training your brain using the large percentage of your mind you can control into being more positive. So actually, you can own it yourself. It's just that we don't typically have time or necessarily know what the exercises are to do.
I think that's fantastic, and a great way to put it, a great exercise for people to kind of adopt into their daily routines. I think that is great. I'm all about trying to stay positive, and taking things with a grain of salt. Everybody has things to deal with. Okay, you take them, you kind of adjust, and you move forward, and still focus on the happy, and don't make the biggest deal over the littlest thing that can snowball to such a big deal. In this book,
and then also on top of that, relieving yourself, like knowing that even you trying to be optimistic and me trying to do the same thing, we're going to have bad days.
Absolutely.
We're going to have bad moments, and it's okay. Our brains are trained to look for problems. Let yourself off the hook, and remember, happiness is a journey, not a destination. It is a practice, like yoga. You always get a little bit better, but you never get perfect. And some of the habits in the book are just meant to sort of provoke you a little bit forward each day. It's not. Listen, for while writing this, I thought, I'm having a bad day, and like I'm supposed to be this happiness guy who wrote the Book of Awesome. They always call me the Pied Piper of positivity. But then I let myself off the hook, and I'm just like, you know what? If I'm happy 80% of the time, that's enough.
That's successful. I mean,
that's enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's as good as you can get.
Absolutely.
You can't live like Pollyanna, because then you'll just drive everyone else nuts.
Well, and it would be false on some level. At some degree, that's not authentic, and no one wants to live a lie either. You know what I mean? I think
I want to know. I want to know
it.
something from him, because he mentioned something that you and I have had on the show, and you've done it before. I tried it once. Yoga. Are you a yoga dude? Do you do yoga?
Oh my gosh. I think there's a triangle. I have a few drawings and triangles in my book. I think there's a triangle on strength, cardio, and flexibility. You push on two of them, and the third one falls off. Just like I have in success, sales, social, and self, which is a separate part of the book.
Sure.
But on those two, on the two ends of the triangle, I push on strength. I actually just went to the gym this morning, and I push on cardio. I try to go for a run, but my flexibility is terrible. I can't even touch my toes. I can't even touch my knees.
That's funny.
There you go. We're all raising our hands.
I need to do yoga, but I know that if I do yoga, then I'll lose the other one. So I just think that when it comes to health, when it comes to these things, even happiness, you can push on some of them, and then the other one falls off. And you just being conscious of that relieves you of the obligation to try to be everything to everyone all the time.
Right, and because that is, and that does happen. I am as a mother, you find yourself getting stuck in that feeling like you're juggling way too many balls, and it's difficult. That pressure sometimes can add up, and it is a relief, like you said, to say I can't do everything and be everything to yourself. Just tell yourself that it is a relief.
No, you can. You're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah, it certainly is a nice. That's one thing I loved out of the book is you have secrets. To work towards the happiness. One of my favorites is the secret to never being too busy again. How to eliminate choice time and why multitasking is a myth. I think that all of that together is me.
Totally.
I would love to learn that secret and perfect that.
We have 147 emails a day. We all check our cell phones on average up 150 times a day. That's every 4 minutes.
I believe
and we make 295 decisions a day. No wonder we're so exhausted.
Right.
When you make so many decisions, you need either glucose or sleep to replenish it.
Both.
What I advocate in the happiness equation is eliminating choice, time, and access. And I include step-by-step models for eliminating that extra email address or social media account, eliminating the number of things you decide between for lunch every day or the route you take to work, eliminating how much time you have to get stuff done. My wife and I, we have a chores list, and now we just have to do it one Saturday a month because it was every day something was going wrong in our house.
Yeah.
But just having that one Saturday a month eliminates for us the obligation of worrying about it every day. So in the happiness equation, I lay out step-by-step plans. I know I'm rushing through it, but there's a lot more detail on it in the book.
Well, I was just going to say, and I love that your theory there, because I think that would help a lot of couples, families, especially a lot of us that have children, and everybody in our household, my two daughters, my wife and I, we all have our jobs, we all have things to do, but I kind of like your theory of doing it once a month or whatever kind of helps out. You had brought up in the book under the, we were talking about the 9 secrets there, Mary, you had brought up great work, big success, be happy, those types of applications. I love that attitude. And I think some of the stuff in your book is just stellar. Can you kind of expand on that? Because you kind of flip it around to be happy, great work, and big success.
Yeah, the model's totally backwards. That's how my parents are immigrants. They got here and they said, Neil, you study hard, then you get good grades, then you're happy. Or you work really hard, then you get promoted, then you're happy. Turns out it's exactly the opposite. If you be happy first, if you choose to be happy and you do some of those exercises, the walking, the journaling, the random acts of kindness that we talked about, then you do great work. You're more productive, you're more creative, and then you have a big success. What I'm trying to say is happiness is not over the rainbow.
Right.
It's here now. You can be happy today. For the rest of the day, just go on a brisk 20-minute walk, journal about one positive thing that happened to you, or commit a random act of kindness. All 3 of those are proven to increase your happiness right now, and then all the positive outcomes happen afterwards.
Well, I think that's a fantastic thing for our listeners to take away for sure. Do one of those 3 things today, and then read the book. The book is great. I'm in the middle of reading it right now, so I'm really enjoying it. I love the perspective behind it, and I love that it's reality based. It's based on the things that you have actually, gone through, lived through, strived for, and now, taking the steps to make it part of sharing with others and trying to help them do the same. I think it's fantastic.
Well, keep up
Thank you
the
very
great
much.
work.
I love that you're reading the book because that means you are not multitasking.
Yeah.
Which you don't know is a terrible scourge. It doesn't actually exist. Nobody can multitask. When you read a book, almost always you're doing just that, and that is a good thing for happening.
You have to. Yeah,
Well,
that's great.
Keep up our Younger Life tech team and all of us updated on what's going on. You're a breath of fresh air.
Congratulations
we love your
on the
energy.
baby.
Keep it up, all right?
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you for spreading the happiness equation. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to talk to you again.
Thank you so much.
Woo!
Definitely.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I love that. I thought that was
Isn't
great
that such
again.
a great perspective?
So
Do
great.
there's so many things I wish we could. I know we have him for a very limited amount of time,
Which was
today,
cool.
Which is awesome. But I would love to have him back. He has an amazing concept on retirement, which I
Mm-hmm.
think reaches a lot of our listeners as well. On that, there really isn't. Retirement is a broken concept.
It sure
and I
is.
love that.
Yeah.
I love his take on it. It's very true. Typically, it isn't because we're not retiring because we want to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
People retire because they want the opportunity to do the things that they love. And that's his spin on it. And I love that. I think it's brilliant. It's genius. And, his views and opinions on the way that could be carried out is just great. I think these little secrets, these little simple tricks, they clearly are valid. They work. I think that it would be a great
I want to
thing
recap
try.
on those if you don't mind, because there were 7 that he had in the book. And I know you and I were just like, this is us.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, he said, 3 walks, going on 3 brisk 30-minute walks each week. I got to tell you guys, gals, it's not that hard.
When on a health aspect,
I mean,
you know what I
seriously,
mean? Like
right?
we're always talking
Sure.
about trying to fit in a little bit extra exercise. I mean, it's so good for you, body, brain, soul. It's just, it's really,
ya.
really.
How about this one? The 20-minute replay journaling, he said, for 20 minutes each
Yeah.
day about a positive experience. I bet
right.
you and I could do that all the time.
Well, I think that I do that sometimes just mentally.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sometimes just zone out mentally, and I'm thinking of happy things. I know we've talked about meditation. Trying to pull those good vibes, those good feelings forward. I think it's important.
We talked about random acts of kindness, a complete unplug. This one, the disconnecting from all technology after dinner, that's a hard one for a lot of us because I get
is.
a ton of calls. I'm constantly fielding, but at a certain point, you have to switch it off because for those that may go to bed early or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and how we talked about, the blue light effect.
Yep.
When we were talking to that doctor about our sleep. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So, I mean, that too is it definitely plays a part in affecting our mood and our happiness and our quality of sleep and stuff. One of the concepts I love that I think it is a great book. One of the concepts that I love is he has 4 simple words that block out criticism.
And what are the words?
Do it for you. And
Wow.
it talks about how when he started, I'm just going to say he has a TED Talk. So, about how he started with the Book of Awesome. He started as a blog. He was going through a dark period. Like I said, divorce. He has a friend, a best friend, that passed away due to mental illness. And then, so he was really struggling to find anything positive. So he started a daily blog. It became a goal to do this for this many days. It's just something that he's observed that is, awesome. He has, every day he did that. Then the goal went to how many people were, how many followers he had. And that grew. Then it was, I'm going to write a book. And then it was, I need to be a bestseller. The goal is always changing because it's external goals. We're always comparing ourselves and trying to do better, which is fantastic. But the problem with that is there's always going to be a new goal. And so he said eventually he found himself doing this for other outside reasons, not himself necessarily.
All right.
He was just trying to find that next
1420
goal
and
and
Gerard
meet that
Media,
next
Young
step,
of,
that next
Younger
step, that
Life
next
Live.
step,
Rick
And I think that we
Federighi,
all get
Anthony
wrapped up in
Married
that.
is
It's
a
very
great
easy
day
to do.
to
And
be
and
alive.
to
Just left
achieve a
everybody
goal
with
is
a
fabulous.
cliffhanger.
But
Did
again,
you
if
hear
you
me?
lose sight of why you're doing it,
Yeah,
it becomes not so
okay.
fabulous.
The
So
problem is that it went blank. That's what we get for trying to play that. So.
All right. Well, you know what? We are good to go.
Yes.
Welcome
we
to
are.
another great version of Younger Life. Hi-
Neil Pazricha was fabulous. And the book, The Happiness Equation, is you can
Welcome
go
to
look it up on
another great
Amazon
version of
to
Younger
find,
Life. Hi, I'm
order
Rick
it or
Federighi.
review
And
it, I'm buy Mary it. Anthony.
And
It
of
is,
course,
a
today we've
great
got
read.
another
Like I
phenomenal
said,
show
I am
lined up.
currently reading
This is
My
kind of
favorite
cool because
quote, I
we're
have to
all
say
about
this
being
before
fun,
we move
awesome,
on, but-
Right, and
This is
positive.
great
Actually,
positive
in the
energy.
beginning of the book,
Yeah.
I
he
feel like
lists
the
3 ways to
positive
get the most out of the
attitude
book.
really
number one,
is so
you're going to
important.
agree to
And,
disagree.
I find
You're not going to agree with everything in the book, and that's true. Next, it says change your scenery.
this book is meant to be taken with you. Like, this book is not a book you're going to sit down in one sitting and read cover to cover. You know, as you're making different experiences in different places, you know, it'll sit with you better. You'll remember it more. So carry it with you. This is an action book, which is why I love it so much. It's not just about why we are searching for happiness. It's about how we can actually, the steps we can take personally to try to be happier ourselves. So it's fabulous. But the last is, he says, to create a 7-day challenge. If you find an idea in this book that you find intriguing or interesting, challenge yourself to say, do this every day. Write it on a planner or a calendar. Do this every day for 7 days, and then it becomes a habit. Aristotle, this is my favorite quote. Excuse me, I have a little catch in my throat. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." And I love that because I think that's so true and a great point because, we all think we'll be happy when, or, oh, I'll be excellent when. But no,
Sure.
It's just a habit. You have to create that and practice that to be good at it. So I think it's a great read. Like I said, look it up on Amazon and see where you can.
Some wonderful
It's
text
definitely
messages
good book.
locally
Very good.
from folks. We're just going to tell folks to go to Amazon to get that book. Is that correct?
I think that's what I'm saying. I think that is the easiest. Now, also call Barnes and Noble. I call them. It's ridiculous.
You have a direct connect.
It's funny. I just call the store and say, "Could you tell me if you have this in stock and how much is that book?"
Can you? Do we have a copy of that book?
We do have a copy. We'll hold it up. Let me see.
Yeah, let's throw it up right in front of the camera if you don't mind.
Can you see it okay? You tell me if you can see it okay.
Let's do this real quick because I think this is the way to go.
It's the
there
Happiness
you go.
Equation by Neil Pasricha.
Want nothing, do anything, have anything.
Sweet.
I'm so glad that you have got to saying his name because I remember when I was talking, I'm like Federici. You look at it, it's like Federer-Huggy.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. Right.
Pasricha? Is that what it is?
Pasricha.
Pasricha.
Right. And it looks like Pasrica. So
thank you, Jeremy, for naming you and your wife Anthony.
Yeah, I know. My maiden name's Satoski, so I do know about.
Cool.
I do know about mispronunciation. That's for sure. So
Absolutely great.
anyways, it is a good book, and I definitely recommend check it out. And and it was a great interview. And you know what? We typically don't do things, pre-record them like that, but that's when he was available. And so when they said that, Rick and I just said, okay, we'll just record it, and it doesn't matter. We'll just incorporate it into the show. He was fantastic. He's done actually a TED Talk also about his, about the book, and about his whole theory.
Sure.
Here. And he started with what's called the Book of Awesome. It was the book before this, and so he just gets into that. It's a great.
I just call it the Book of Mary. Get it? The Book of
right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Right.
No, we're gonna name that the Book of Stacy Kellogg.
Yes.
What do you think of that, Stacy?
I love her.
Woo! What's going on? Wonderful.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good morning.
We're great.
How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Yeah, you sound great. Nice and crystal clear. Thanks to the tech team at Younger Life on both sides today. It's so great to connect with you again. And it's cute because, I don't know if you could see this, but Mary Anthony brought some treats for us from yesterday's show. Hold those up to the camera real quick.
Yesterday on the show, we were talking about good snack foods at work. It was 14 snack foods to help keep you on track. It was based on an article out of Self magazine. Well, she had actually listed some bars, some granola bars types things. So we've never tried the ones she listed. So we brought them. I brought some Lara bars. I'm cutting them up right now. Lara bars and Kind bars.
Look at her. Look at Stacy.
So you should be here. It's snack time.
See,
I want those for hiking right now.
that's what I said she would do.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So
Can I ask a question? Do you normally take with, and I know you've chatted about stuff you have on your hikes, would you have these types of bars or what would you have with you? I'm just curious, Stacy.
It all depends on how long I'm going, but absolutely I would have those types of bars with me. So, it just depends. If I'm doing something a little bit longer, I usually try to bring something that's homemade because it gets really expensive to bring those things if you're going to eat them for days on end. But if I'm just doing a quick hike, yeah, for sure. It's a wonderful resource.
good deal.
Absolutely
I can't wait
wonderful.
to go. My kids keep asking me because obviously I've told them that we're
And
gonna
I
be
told
doing
my
this.
wife too, and it's funny because I said to Mary, my wife keeps saying, "Okay, I got to take off work. I'm sure you
Right.
got to give me that 2 to 3 weeks." I'm like,
I
I'll
know.
just ask Stacy. She controls this.
Stacy had said we probably would wait until roughly June, right?
Okay.
Just do.
Yeah, I
just
say
do
let's
the-
wait till the weather gets a little better so we're a little bit more predictable and
Right.
we can create a great experience for everybody who goes. But yeah, I am all about it. I'm ready to go.
Me too. I'm just
seem-
getting antsy when it's this, when it's nice out.
You
so.
seem very happy today, Stacy. Are you in a good mood, good mode, or what?
Of course I'm in a good mood. It's good
Okay.
to be
Always
alive
in a
every
good
day,
mood.
right?
That's
I mean,
Yeah.
Even on those
it's good.
crazy
Spring
days.
is here. It's not going to feel like that this weekend, but
Yes, you're right.
spring is here. My herbs are coming up in my herb garden already,
Well,
so I need
that's
to figure out a way to
exciting.
protect those when it goes into the 20s this weekend. But
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, life is good. No
How do
reason
you
not to be happy.
how do you protect the herbs on this kind of weather? Do you bring them inside? Is that what they suggest?
Well, no, they're actually in the ground. So
Right.
normally
Straw.
they're not herbs that would come up again year after year, but we
Sure.
had such a mild winter.
Oh,
So I've got
really?
chives and lemon thyme and oregano and an herb called chocolate mint. It doesn't really taste like chocolate, but it's
I
a
was just
mint.
going to
I know.
ask you. It's
Me
like-
too.
Strawberry
Wait now.
plants are coming up, so all kinds of stuff
Really?
is happening in my garden, and I can't really bring it in because it's like in
Right.
the ground. So I may have to cover it with some burlap or pillowcases or something just
Does
until
straw work?
the frost warnings.
That's a good
Does
one.
straw work? I've heard that before. Cover
It
your-
does.
Oh, okay.
It does, depending on the plant. I just don't have any straw.
Yeah. You don't keep straw in the backyard. Come on now.
Yeah, no, not in the middle of the city limits in Valpo.
Hold on. We'll ask our 4-Hers out there if we need help for young Stacy. If you got some hay Federiki, we'll absolutely deliver to the LaPorte Hospital because I'm always in the area and I could get that for you. If someone wants to, text me or email me, I would be more than happy to help you out, Stacy Kellogg, in a heartbeat.
So sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
All right. Well, we are excited. You're going to be telling us about First Friday in the Chapel, right?
Yes. Have you guys ever heard about First Friday in the Chapel?
I had not.
I
Rick
have.
had,
I'm so
right.
all
Rick
about
had
it.
told me about it a little bit. I had not. So
Okay, Mary, we got to get you over there. It is First Friday in the Chapel is a wonderful program offered by the LaPorte Hospital Foundation, LaPorte Hospital, and the Center for Spiritual Care here at the hospital. If you've never seen our chapel at the hospital, it's an amazing community space. The chapel's open all the time to the community. You can go there for worship. You can go there for meetings. It's a non-denominational chapel, so there are many different opportunities to provide, to worship there or just to celebrate, and any way that you want to celebrate life. So the cool thing about it is that every first Friday of the month, they have something called First Friday in the Chapel, and it showcases the musical talent that we have locally. And you would not believe some of the talent that we get at First Friday. The one coming up tomorrow is going to be amazing. This is a group by the LaPorte Little Theater Club, and they are going to be performing excerpts from their wildly successful I think it was called Hoosiers in Music, 200 Years.
Yes,
so they're
absolutely.
going to really be celebrating some famous Hoosier musicians, both vocally and musically inside the chapel.
Yeah, and I think this is really cool because you go from the most eclectic to the most current, like Mellencamp. And it's really neat because we've had them in studio and chatted with them, and people just rave. And it's one of those things where we all know that music is a great piece to tie into, as you and I've chatted, Mary, with Stacy, about how music is an integral part of life, but also can help you in healing and getting to a different level of
Absolutely.
calm and then some, you know?
absolutely.
It's so true. And then the greatest part about First Friday in the Chapel is that it happens at noon. So if you're having a bad day, if you're working, you're in the middle of everything, everybody needs to take a lunch break, right? Take your lunch break, swing over to the hospital. You can even bring your lunch into the chapel and just get away from the desk for a minute or away from crazy life if you can and enjoy the music. It's going to be a really great show tomorrow. The local talent for the LaPorte Little Theater Club is amazing. I mean, we've got all of our favorite names performing from the theater club. We've got, let's see, Bruce Johnson, of course. Everybody knows Bruce. Rosemary Dury, Robert Dury, John Bello, Cheryl Edwards, Cheryl Gardner, Susie Richter, Jim Lample. They're all going to be at the mic singing songs from, like I said, famous Hoosier musicians over the last 200 years. And I have a little tidbit that is actually a great LaPorte Hospital connection.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah.
You guys know that there was a hospital doctor. You know the song "Home on the Range"?
Yeah.
Sure.
Another
I'm sorry, can you hear
There
me
we
okay?
go.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Not another cliffhanger.
There's like Stacy's teasing us. We got you, kid. Go ahead. So Home on the Range.
Home on the Range, where the deer and the buffalo play. You know that whole
Sing it,
song.
Stacy. Sing it,
I'm not
Stacy.
going to sing it. Please don't make me sing it. Rick, I'll let you do it.
Home, home on the range. I'll shut up.
There
Go
we
ahead.
So Home on the Range was actually written by a LaPorte physician in the 1840s.
Wow.
Yeah, his name was Dr. Brewster Higley. The song was actually, he didn't write it as a song, he wrote it as a poem. And it was later turned into a song, and it was made the state song of Kansas after he moved from LaPorte. But he was an ear, nose, and throat doctor in LaPorte. He graduated from LaPorte Medical School.
Wow.
Or LaPorte Medical College, and had a practice here for a short time before he went out west.
That is so
so-
cool.
You know, you
There's
could.
like local connections that we have with, even with the hospital in the history of music. It's
You know,
pretty
if we do a
So
trivia team for LaPorte Hospital with Mary, myself, I'm
You would want
music.
me on it.
She's, all kinds of lady stuff.
Parenting. We can do
Parenting.
that.
And
There we
then
go.
you, Stacy, could be our avid historian. And we need a little Fern Schultz with us as well.
And
I was
maybe
gonna
we
say
could talk.
Fernette Schultz and even Bruce Johnson.
That's what I was
is a
going to
great
say. We could
resource
talk
as
Mr.
well.
Johnson into it. I have to say he was actually a teacher of mine. So
Get out of here, really?
oh yeah, and I love him. He was my favorite elementary teacher, and
How cool.
oh yeah, I've known him forever, and I just he is awesome. He's the most interesting man. I just find him so much fun to talk to. So he's great.
Very
I
cool.
love to
And
run
he's-
into him now. It's just nice.
A lot of fun to watch perform as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this group is energetic. They just really, and how can you not be when you're talking about music from famous Hoosiers, right? I
Right.
mean, it's
Yeah.
like we're talking. Let's see, some of the famous names that they're going to be singing from are Paul Dresser, Cole Porter, and I have an interesting tidbit also about Cole Porter. Are you familiar with Cole Porter?
Absolutely, yes.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know. What songs?
Okay, so go for it. Let's hear
Yeah,
your
let's
tidbit.
hear it.
So Cole Porter's a famous Indiana musician. He's written lots of famous musical songs. Of course, none are coming to mind right now, but a good friend of mine, he's from Peru, Indiana, and his home is actually still in Peru. But a good friend of mine, her name is Kathy Day, has she's writing a book about Cole Porter's life right now, and you can actually read a little bit about his connection to Indiana and the famous songs that he's created for the state and really just for the music community as a whole. If you Google Kathy Day and Cole Porter archives, you can learn a little bit more about his connection to Indiana and really his contributions to Indiana as well.
Wow, that's really neat. And I also have to point out that Cheryl Gardner also, I did not have her as a teacher, but my children did. So she's awesome too. This is exciting. So I want to just point out the specifics for those people that are interested. Tomorrow, being the first Friday at noon, you said at the hospital, LaPorte Hospital Chapel. Now, does it cost anything?
It's free and open to the public.
Okay.
Absolutely no cost.
How long?
it-
How long of a program is it?
It really just depends. Usually, I think it usually goes about an hour.
Okay.
But you can come and go as you please.
Okay,
if
that's
you-
what I was going to ask. Right, when you
Yeah.
mentioned lunch break, that's what I was curious about. Is it something you're able to kind of just pop in for a few minutes of?
Sure.
Regain a little
Absolutely.
bit of that balance. That would feel nice, I would imagine, in the middle of the workday for sure. So,
Yeah, they can't perform the entire program that they did for the LaPorte Little Theater. They're just doing
Right.
excerpts from it.
Right.
So let me look at some of the songs they're doing.
Okay.
So it looks like from their set list that it could last about 45 minutes.
Nice.
They're doing On the Banks of the Wabash, Far Away.
Cool.
They're doing I Don't Want to Play in Your Yard.
Oh,
that
gosh.
sounds
They're
funny.
doing
Yeah.
some Hoagie Carmichael songs. Georgia on My Mind, Lazy
Beautiful.
River, Nearness of You, and Stardust. The Cole Porter song that they're doing is called So in Love.
Cole Porter, too, for a lot of you out there, whether it's, the Sinatras of the world or even your Joe Jackson, contemp artists from like the 80s, and even till today, I've Got You Under My Skin, Night and Day. Those are true classic Cole Porter tunes.
Really?
Yeah, that are out there. That
Nationally recognized. and
Wow.
famous, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
neat. I didn't know that.
You know, it's cool too, because you both know, and I know Stacy knows this because she's been at these events as well. When when I was hosting Who's Your Star for
Yes.
several years, and the radio conglomerate Gerard Media part of that, and sitting on the symphony board for a number of years. It was great, but Cheryl Edwards is one of the folks that Stacy had mentioned. Again, another cool professional that's out there, and I love some of these people because they're intertwined with the theater, the arts, the music,
Right.
and to
And
see
the talent, the
Yes.
local talent that
Yes.
we have is just amazing.
I
So
love
agree.
that.
So agree. Now I just want to let you
Great
ladies both know, if you want to be backup, I can play guitar if you guys
You
want to
would
hang
never
loose.
want me to back up anyone when it comes to singing. let
We
me
could
tell
get, you know who we could get, Stacy, too. You know who Brendan is. We can
Yeah.
get Brendan to play guitar with Rick Federici and even sing, and it could be us four.
They could be you,
You
three.
are so
I'll be the
energetic,
groupie.
but I have got to tell you, you're not roping me into performing anything.
That's it. I'm right there with you,
Closest I
Stacey.
get to performance right here.
Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go. Woo! Oh, that is great. Hey, while we've got you, now this is going to be happening, of course, and while we have you on the line, Stace, can you give us some insight where folks can get this information? Because you have put out a plethora of events,
Right.
So people could stay updated, whether it's a social media aspect or a website or whatever you want to do up on Younger Life. Can you chat about that side, please?
You know what? I think the best place to get information about all of our events that are happening, things like First Friday in the Chapel, but even all of the other events happening, is our Facebook page.
Okay.
Perfect.
Because the nice part about that is that we can continually post updates.
Yeah.
We might book an event and then 2 weeks later we've got a new partner for it. So we
Sure.
can just keep those sites updated regularly. So if you look at the LaPorte Hospital Facebook page, check out all of the events listed on there. Give us a comment or two. Let us know if you're going. They're set up as actual events, so you can actually check whether or not you're going. And yeah, so Facebook page is really the best place for events.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
I love
mean,
it.
there's always so many things. It's so interesting to read about when you do see the list of events that are always going on. And I always wonder the same thing. Where in the world can someone else find out if they don't have the list in front of them? You know what I mean? They're not
Outside
emails or
of
something.
watching or viewing and listening to Younger Life.
Yes.
Yep.
I want to throw this out there too. Can we get a quick update? Last time you were in studio, we had the superintendent of Michigan City Area Schools, Dr.
Right.
Barbara Eason Watkins. Stacy Kellogg was in studio, and a number of other folks were here chatting about the hometown swim hero contest and then the naming of the pool. Now, the LaPorte Hospital had donated like six figures, like $100,000. Talk a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind. It was a gift.
Yeah, so the hospital gifted about $100,000 last year to the LaPorte County Family YMCA for the upkeep and maintenance of the pool in Michigan City. As many people know, the Michigan City community lost their YMCA, and the LaPorte County Family YMCA was able to come in and resurrect it. It is located at the old Elston High School, or a section of the Elston High School. And as I know, I think the Boys and Girls Club also just moved into that building as well. So what a wonderful connection for them. But the purpose of the donation was really not just to create an opportunity for them to upkeep the pool, but also to help the community understand the importance of safe swimming. There are a lot of barriers that keep people from learning how to swim in the Michigan City community. And they're a lakefront community. I mean, Lake Michigan is there. They're going to the beach.
Right.
And unless they really know how to swim well, it's just not safe for them. We have too many incidences of unintentional drowning in our community as well as across Indiana. So part of that donation also included scholarships for people who aren't necessarily able to afford swim lessons. They will now be able to have them at the Y. It included supplies for folks who maybe needed like swim caps or goggles or things, to protect their hair and their skin while they're swimming.
Right.
Those are barriers that people don't necessarily realize, and we wanted to break them down and help the community embrace safe swimming. So that was really the whole purpose of the donation. After the donation happened, the Y said, "Well, that's a sizable amount. You get to choose the name of the pool." And we thought, well, pretty boring. We think the community should name their own pool. So we launched the Hometown Swim Hero campaign, and we invited people to share their stories about why swimming is important to them and to suggest a pool name. And we had this super top secret judging session last night.
Oh,
Oh,
you did.
This is cool. We're getting it firsthand. Woo!
We're not going to announce it quite yet.
Oh,
Okay.
come on.
Can you tell us
No.
how the how the
That's
response
great.
of stories? Did you have a lot of stories?
We had an overwhelming amount
Oh,
of
that's
stories.
so-
it took us
that's
a couple
so great. That's
hours
so
to go
encouraging.
through and read all of the stories and all of the pool names, and really, there was a very nice rounding of committee members that included representatives from the Y, the hospital. We had school board members there. We had swim coaches there. Members of the swimming community. So we were all able to get together and go through each of the stories, judge them, and then really, some of the categories or the criteria that we used were, how closely connected is it to the Michigan City community? How much does it resonate with safe swimming? We also talked about how creative some of the names were. And so those were really kind of the ways that we judged the names and the stories that came in. We're going to pick a winning story and a winning name, and we
Right.
will reveal them in a couple of months after we've had after the Michigan City high school students have had a chance to paint a very large mural with the winning name inside of the pool area above the bleachers, and we're going to unveil it at the world's largest swimming lesson.
Yes.
We want to be there. We
That's
chatted about
it.
that. We had guests in studio. We would love to be at that, Stacy.
To break the record.
Yeah.
Biggest swim lesson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have more than 100 kids swimming, and we're going to try to break the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's largest swim lesson at the Y. And before we launch all of that, we'll go in and unveil the new pool name and recognize the high school art students and the people who submitted the winning stories. And then we're also in April going to launch the 1,000 Drops of Water campaign and give our littlest ones in the community a chance to learn about safe swimming and then color some artwork that will line the hallways leading to the pool at the Y. So
fantastic.
It's really just a wonderful campaign. It's very heartfelt, and it's a great chance for the Michigan City community to come together and just be involved in this important topic.
Absolutely.
I just want to let you know I'm going to eat your part of the bars that we're going to have when you take off, just so you know there, young Stacy.
Definitely. Go for it.
We'll be in touch real soon. Again, there are so many events, but we want to get this hike planned too. So thank you so much for telling us about First Friday tomorrow. It does sound like a fantastic.
Thank you, Stacy
event.
Kellogg.
First Friday in the chapel, noon tomorrow at the LaPorte Hospital Family Chapel. Join us. It's free and open to the public.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Have a great day. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Younger Life, Rick and Mary here. I love it. I love it. Thank
I
you
love
so
chatting
much.
with her.
Oh, she is such a breath of fresh air. I just
is.
think she
I
is
mean,
so
when
awesome.
there's always so much going on, and she does such a good job of making sure we know it. You know what I mean? Making sure
agree.
we're aware of it. And like I said, there's always so much happening. So it's nice to hear her say too. The best place to check it out is LaPorte Hospital's Facebook page. Please do. But the first chapel, the first Friday in the chapel tomorrow sounds so good. I mean,
Agreed.
I
Telling
think
you,
that would
those
be
people
fantastic.
are all talented.
Oh, absolutely. I keep thinking, and we'll be near there tomorrow since we're going to be at the fire station getting a little sneak peek at the Edith.
I can't
house.
wait for that piece. That's going to be fun.
That'll
The
be after our
firefighters
show
are
tomorrow,
great.
right? Oh, I know. They've been so good.
Anybody
So,
that's out there too, speaking of LaPorte, Mayor Milo will be having her State of the City tomorrow, April 1. That'll be at the Best Western off of 444 Pine Lake Avenue. That's during lunch. And then in the evening, she'll be having her Mayor's Ball, Mayor Blair Milo, at the Civic Auditorium. And I want to throw this out there as well for those of you that want to get connected and stay healthy. We talk about fun things. The LaPorte Hospital, in conjunction with Girard Media's WIMS, Younger Life, and a bunch of great folks, are going to be doing the United Way of LaPorte County Dodgeball event. That'll be coming up for teams and family members. It's free. April 23rd at the Y, where we were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Brand new facility this year, 7 years strong. We've been all doing this. So we have a
neat.
broadcast, family friendly, 10 to 2. So love
how
to
do
see you
people
out there.
sign up for teams if they were interested?
If they
in that?
want to connect with Dave and the crew, we've got a number for you,
Okay.
and we've got that up on Younger Life.
Perfect.
And I know that you could connect and Google the United Way of LaPorte County.
Okay.
Get a hold of Dave Sisk.
Just in case, right? In case someone out there decides they want to do a team.
I would love to. We need a Younger
Get
Life
'em.
team. But since I host and moderate, those are the things that Rick Federici
Right.
stays away from. Now, if you were asking me to do a bike thing, I'm the first guy
Yeah.
to jump on that for now.
Yeah.
For now.
Fantastic.
So, all right. So talk to me about these bars, young
Okay,
one.
so yesterday we did the 14 snacks, especially like the desk ready kind of thing at work. But specifically in the Self Magazine article that we were reviewing, she mentioned Lara bars and Kind bars, just as an example. Of course, there are many, many we don't promote any of them
Right.
because I had never tried these.
I've never had any of these, just so you know.
So I got a couple bars. So I got a dark chocolate and cherry cashew one.
Do you have the wrapper for that, or did
I
you?
do. I already ripped it open, but
Yeah,
I do
you sure
have
did.
I cut them up so we can try
That was
these.
so cool of you because you're using. I have to tell you, folks, she's a total true pro here, radio TV gal. She's using a plastic knife
Oh,
to
it
get
works
through. Did it work okay?
It worked great.
Because is it a soft or is it a hard?
Well, they're a little harder because they're very full of nuts, which again is
Okay.
fantastic. So
All right.
this one is a dark chocolate cherry cashew.
Should we invite some of the team in?
One, yes, that's
Okay.
why I made sure to bring
All right.
plenty and cut them up. One is a dark chocolate raspberry, and this one is a blueberry pecan. So this one's this one's very high fiber. So there's also a dark chocolate, nuts, and sea salt, and then a banana bread, which we're gonna just. Rick mentioned you loving banana bread yesterday, so we're not going to cut that one up. We're going to let him take that one with him.
Okay.
So, anyways, here's a couple.
John,
I
sit down
tried
right there.
to put the wrappers near the bars.
Sit right there. You're on
guys
TV.
take
Don't
a-
swear. Just stay right there. I'll get them
Don't
over.
swear.
What do you want me to do now? Okay.
I just let anybody pick what kind they want. I tried
Okay,
to
so
put
I'm
it-
gonna wide angle this
There's this
bad
one,
boy
too.
out here. Okay, so we're all on. So this is which one now?
I put them near the wrappers, just so you would have an idea.
Go ahead, take a piece of that.
Okay.
Okay, John, you take a piece of that. Okay, and okay, so we're
Or
gonna
this
try that
one.
one first. Okay, so
Take
which-
whatever you want. I picked dark
I'm gonna go for this one.
chocolate and cherry, I think. Cashew, yep.
John, what do you think of that?
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. It tastes like a, I don't know, healthy granola bar or something.
I find
you
it
go.
tastes like a candy bar,
Yeah.
but a much
This
healthier
is
one.
really good.
Very. The nuts in it, I think, are very, very good, and it's not overpowering. The chocolate's just enough to where it's not overpowering, but certainly hits that sweet tooth for the one I'm having. Like
What
I
about
said.
this one?
That's the one I have. It's dark chocolate and cherry
Okay,
and cashew.
try this one. Try this
I
one.
love it.
John? All right. Oh my gosh, these are heavenly.
And these are supposed to stick with you longer, help keep you fueled till you're.
What am I eating here, kiddo?
That one is blueberry and.
Oh my gosh. That is heavenly. How was yours? How was that one? You like that one better? We're not saying much, huh?
Blueberry pecan is the one you just had. Blueberry pecan. So, very good. I think they were good. Almost everything. I looked for these seaweed chips because I was going to bring them just so you could taste them. Since we discussed them yesterday, that was one of the recommendations, and I personally have tried them and did not like them myself. But I was
Okay.
going to bring them in, but I could not find them. So,
I have to tell you, I have a new favorite bar in these. Now, are
I
these
know.
supposed to be really good for you?
you know what? They're supposed to be very healthy. Now, obviously, because they are full of nuts and chocolate and stuff, the dark chocolate, but they're not low calorie. But they're supposed to be.
May I? I just want to look at the
You
bottom
know,
of
they're
this.
supposed to be. It's a healthier option, more natural foods, and it's supposed to be sustain you longer than a typical snack you would just grab.
Okay,
So
well, wait a minute
they're-
here. This is if someone told me that I was going to intake, it says dark chocolate, cherry cashew, antioxidants, gluten-free, non-GMO. This is all good stuff, and a lot
Right.
of us have to watch what we're eating because of very specific reasons. The entire bar, guys, is 170 calories. That's
Right.
it. That's
which,
not bad.
Which the author of the article said that it's recommended
Wow.
a decent snack be under 200 calories. So this fits the bill. This would be a good, when you are needing to grab a quick snack, whether it be mid-morning or mid-afternoon, go for one of these if you don't already have something prepackaged. I was just curious.
I love
we
it.
talked about it yesterday, and
I love
especially
it.
since we said
Thank
we
you.
hadn't tried it.
You could throw that
Everything
on your
else
expense
there we
report
had
for the
tried.
show.
Whatever.
John, what did you think of the bars? Pretty good?
Oh, very good. Very
Yeah?
good.
Alex?
Yeah, good. If you like the taste of like raspberry jelly type stuff,
Well,
that's
you-
really like what they're getting at there. I think with
Oh,
these.
really? So
Yeah.
you had the dark chocolate raspberry. I didn't try that.
Oh
one.
yeah,
Try
well,
it.
the other one did too a little bit. It tasted
You brought
berry-y.
it. So get it. So you guys are not now on camera. Give them a big smile. Everybody wave to that camera. Thank you. All right, get your butts out of here. Love you both. All right.
Oh, this one definitely tastes the raspberry, and the other one was more like a candy bar. It was fun to
It
just
was
try. Like I
great.
said, everything on there I tried. except these. So.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for coming,
I
and
really
thank you,
wanted to
Alex.
find the seaweed ones for
Yeah.
you. I wanted you to try those.
Which one is that? You want me to
The
try?
seaweed chips, but I didn't know.
No.
I couldn't find them.
That's all right. You don't need to. Now, may I try this piece
Eat it
right
up.
here? Because I tried all the other ones. These are, I have to tell you, I will buy these.
Oh yeah, they're very good.
I mean, anybody that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
these are phenomenal.
This is nice to
Wow.
throw in that briefcase or throw in the car for when you are running
And these
around.
bars are called again. This is the.
These were different ones. I bought I purchased Kind bars, a few different flavors, and there are so many. I was shocked at that.
Can I ask you the price point?
Lyra bars. The
$2
Kind
each?
bars were 3 for $5, so they were a good deal.
Okay. I just had someone chime in again. Tell us again what you're sampling. I was out of the car and missed it. So
Okay,
let's
we're
talk
trying
about this.
Kind bars and Lyra bars, which was recommended in the article yesterday. It was just a couple she mentioned. Again, I don't think it really makes any difference, but specifically since she mentioned them in the Self magazine article we reviewed yesterday, and these flavors are, this one's dark chocolate, cherry cashew.
And let me tell you, that was phenomenal.
The blueberry cashew, and then this one is dark chocolate raspberry.
Excellent. And I'm telling you guys, I tried all three, and so did John and Alex. Everyone must like them, and I would actually use that as a meal supplement for me. I could see how that would fill me up.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
I don't know that it would fill me up for like a whole lunch, but I mean, it
Really,
would
you don't
definitely
think so?
get you.
That's a big bar.
Well, for me, that'd be a great breakfast. Like that and a cup of coffee. That'd be an awesome breakfast, really.
Okay.
And high in protein,
Thanks
high
for
in
mentioning
fiber.
coffee again.
Yeah, the coffee again. See, I'm just looking out for your health.
I'm all about you, kid.
I'm kidding. So I like them. I think it was good. It was a good deal.
Tomorrow is Friday. On the show, we've got about 1:30 left. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to a couple of good surprises along the way.
Yeah, and I know tomorrow after the show, we're going to, Rick and I are lucky enough to be able to go talk to the fire department, and we're going to kind of take a tour of the Edith House,
Yeah,
which
it's
is going to be at the
Killer.
which is going to be at the health fair event on April 12th. So it's an exciting. I'm excited to do that and get to preview that and share that with our audience, friends, and family, and that'll be a great way for them to get a sneak peek at it before the.
Can you throw that book up one more time? Because I want to
sure.
thank Neil,
So
our
the
first
beginning
part
was
of our
Neil
hour. Yeah, he's
has
great.
Richa, The Happiness Equation. Fantastic book. It's wildly successful too. Like Stacey was talking about the musicians. I mean, this is definitely a very good read. I'm enjoying it myself, and it has been very successful for him. He's a great speaker, great guy to talk to. It's been really interesting. I love his theory on, we are taught you work hard, then you get a job, you work harder, you get promoted, and then you're happy. But no, it's definitely the backwards. It starts off with being happy, and then that makes you want to work harder naturally. You just do, and then you find success comes to you. So,
And thanks again to
it's
Stacey
neat.
Kellogg, our team
Oh, yeah,
of
we
professionals,
love
our executive
Stacey.
producer, Alex Bassett, and the production crew on Stacey's side today. Thank you to LaPorte Hospital for all the great insight. And I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
Have a great day.
AM 1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.
CBS News, I'm Peter King. Just underway in Washington, the President's Nuclear Security Summit, with officials from some 50 countries attending. Let's go live to the White House correspondent Pam Coulter. Pam, what's on the agenda?
Peter, the overarching goal is to safeguard nuclear